Well, welcome back to Good Day. So imagine growing up on Broadway Street in Maumee, working at a theater as a kid, then performing at a Broadway theater in New York City.
Exciting. That was the dream of Libby Servais, and now she's living it and bringing her Big Apple Broadway experience to Maumee with her husband, Stephan Stubbins. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
So you have done some things. Let's talk about a little show called Wicked. Yeah. You may have heard of it. Take us through that experience and what all you have done on Broadway.
Oh gosh, thank you. Yeah, it was always my dream to be on Broadway. Growing up on Broadway Street, I sort of took that as an omen. And so I went to college for musical theater at Baldwin-Wallace in Cleveland, and I graduated and I went on tour with the musical Wicked, and then went to Broadway from there, and I did it for a long time, and it was a dream come true. It still like gives me tingles in my heart when I sing from the show. Yeah, it was a dream come true for me.
Glinda.
Yeah.
I mean,
she comes down in a bubble. It was like, you can't ask for a better entrance as an actress. You just float down in a bubble and wave.
Yeah,
it's such a great show.
Yeah, so awesome. And Libby, you're from Maumee.
Yeah.
Went to Maumee High School. So we have the Maumee Indoor Theatre that's there as well. So were you able to ever perform there? Did you do anything with the Maumee Indoor Theatre?
So I was there, and I worked there in high school, actually, for concessions. I made a lot of popcorn, and
we thank you for that.
You are welcome. And I swept the popcorn after people dropped it on the floor. But I did not perform there other than in between movie showings. My friends and I that worked there would sing on the stage, just
so cool.
with our brooms, you know, like, yeah.
So you'll be making a return there, though.
Yes, my Maumee Indoor debut.
Love that.
And Stephan, you've done some things too.
Yeah.
I imagine you met in the business.
We did. Well, I was in Mary Poppins on Broadway, and I started a theater company, Broadway Under the Stars in Wine Country out in California. And Libby and I worked together out there for the first time. She came out to be in one of our shows. We fell in love, and here we are, years later, doing our own show around the country and around the world.
Yeah, love that. So we'll get into the performance Friday, right?
Yes.
It's this Friday at 8 p.m. 7 p.m. March 8th.
Yeah,
yes.
you got it.
I'm getting those dates. Yes, getting those numbers correct. But take us behind the scenes a little bit when it comes to performing on Broadway. This has to be like the epitome of what every actor and actress wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both grew up practicing a lot in community theater and in college, really training for what it's like. And being a Broadway actor, I feel like is being like an Olympic athlete in a way, because you're always staying in shape and keeping your tools sharp. Yeah, so do you have anything?
Oh yeah, 8 shows a week is no joke.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Doing one show is like, wow, that was great, but then you're like, 8 more this week. And sometimes more if you have like a holiday weekend or something like that. So it really is keeping yourself healthy, you know, keeping your stamina up. But it's a great community, and the actors are just a small piece of that whole experience.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So I've always wondered, with so many shows, are you continuing to go over your lines like throughout the day? Like, are you waking up in the morning thinking about those lines?
Well, I think you reach a point where you've done it enough that you can let go.
They are committed to memory. Right?
Yeah. You find you drill it as much as you need to in the early beginning process, but then the fun part comes when you can just let it go and be free on stage.
Oh, love that.
You know, and each show is different because the audience is different, and that's why we love live theater, because it's always organic depending on, you know, the flow of your connection with the audience. Yeah.
So you can experience that this Friday, as we mentioned, at the Maumee Indoor Theatre. Tell us a little bit about your show.
Yeah.
What
Well,
can
it's
people
called
expect?
Broadway in Love, and really we both have a big passion for life, and we get to share that through music and through the most popular Broadway songs, but also share our love of Broadway and our love for each other and our own stories with each other.
Sweet.
So much laughter and stories and wonderful moments.
Yeah, there's a lot of audience participation too.
Great.
So I hope everyone comes ready to sing with us a little.
Very good, because I think these are songs that a lot of people are going to know.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to sing along a little
Yes,
bit.
please.
Right? Okay. So you're going to sing a little bit for us now. What are you going to do right now?
We're going to do a little piece on Broadway, which you may have heard.
On Broadway,
We tell a little bit of storytelling and get to sing some. So,
All right, take it away.
Oh, thank you. So we are doing Broadway in Love, and speaking of Broadway, I grew up on Broadway. Well, West Broadway Street in Maumee, Ohio. And I loved musicals from a very early age. My grandma took me to see my first show when I was 3 years old. We went to see Nonsense in Toledo. And she said I loved it so much that during the show, I actually ran onto the stage and started singing with the actors. And that's where they say I was bit by the Broadway bug.
Now, I saw my first Broadway show at a very young age. I was 6 months old, and I was swaddled in my grandmother's arms in New York City at a show that you really should take a 6-month-old child to go see.
Well, what
Right.
show?
The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Yeah, the show.
Oh, my gosh. Well, Stephen, you were literally a Broadway baby.
I was, Libby, and so were you, right?
Yes, I was. They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air.
But when you're walking down the street and you ain't had enough to eat,
The glitter rubs right off and you're nowhere. So I went off to college, Baldwin Wallace University, and I was training to be an opera singer. But my freshman year, I took a trip to New York City to see my first musical on Broadway. So there I was, sitting in the last row of the last balcony at Wicked, when the music of the first downbeat hit. And I started crying all the way through Act 1. It was like something had changed within me. And so at intermission, I raced out into the lobby. I called my mom and I said, Mom, I have to change my opera major to musical theater because I've got to be on Broadway. And it was Broadway or bust.
they say that I won't last too long on Broadway.
On Broadway, I'll catch a Greyhound bus for home, they say. That's what they say. But they're dead wrong, I know they are.
'Cause I can play this here
Guitar, ow! And I won't quit till I'm a star on Broadway.
I won't quit till I'm a star.
I won't quit till I'm a star. I won't quit till I'm a star.
I won't quit till I'm a star.
On Broadway.
I feel like I'm there.
That is wonderful. We're in for a wonderful show this Friday.
Yes. Make sure you get your tickets, and you all are going to sing for us again.
Yes.
Yeah, we're so excited. All right, stay with us.
Please.
They're going to come sing for us again. And you stay with us because we got a little bit more good day coming up,
Yeah,
don't
we'll
we?
be back with a little bit more.